Hello everyone, artist Charles Wolf here, back again for another painting video. It's been a while since I did a landscape painting for you all, so I felt like I should do the one today, and I hope that you like it. This is a simple, little, easy to do landscape. It's kind of based on a design that I seem to go back to time and again, and I'm doing it today a little bit differently with a palette knife for the entire painting. Mixing together here some Mars Black, a touch of the Cadmium Yellow Medium, and a little bit of the NAPHTHOL Crimson. I'm going to keep adding in more yellow until I get a nice olive green color. The red is going to add some richness to my green, and the black with the yellow makes, again, a nice olivey green. This is fairly dark because I'm going to be layering other lighter colors of shades of yellow and shades of green on top of it. I'm actually going to add some more of the cadmium yellow to the mix because it is not light enough. Taking just the point of my knife, I'm going to be sketching in these trees. Normally I like to start with the sky, but today I thought I would mix it up and begin by putting in this tree line. Here's some Naples yellow and some of the Mars black. Naples yellow has a lot more of a white in that color, and so mixing it with the black gets a different effect. It's more sandy yellow. My palette today, going from left to right, is titanium white, cadmium yellow medium, Naples yellow, Mars black, NAPHTHOL crimson, cobalt blue, and I have some more white on the right hand side. Continuing to put in these trees. Bit more of the black there. Gonna darken this up. That red really does add a nice richness to the green. Grabbing some more of the cadmium yellow medium. Going for a very olivey green now. Let's start on the other side and put some more trees in. Connect those in the center there. You can make these trees however big you would like. It's up to you. You can make these a lot larger, or you can keep them kind of small and they'll look like they're farther back in the distance. Bringing in some highlights here with this yellowy olive green, some more yellow, using just the tip of my palette knife. For contrast, for the shadow portions at the bottom, I'm going to bring in some more black. Make them darker. Taking some Naples yellow and a bit of the cobalt blue, we're going to mix that with some of that black and Naples yellow mixture I already have there. Some more of the blue. We're going to create some bluey green color. And this is going to be some distant trees that are back behind. This is a technique that my good friend Dave Usher, he's a fellow artist here on YouTube, you should check out his work, it's amazing. He uses this effect, so I am borrowing the technique from him. I give him due credit for that. This idea of using kind of a very bluish cast in the background for your farther distant trees. He does it a lot on his watercolors. Looks really, really nice. It's very atmospheric. Can add a bit more of the white to it. I want them to be kind of hazy and distant and that white will wash out that blue and give me that effect. I'm not worrying about over blending these colors too much. In fact, I want it to be very impressionistic, have each stroke of the knife to be visible and clear. I'm not trying to blend any of the colors, but just simply laying color on top of color. When you're painting with a knife, you can't be nearly as precise as you can be with a brush, and you can't blend nearly as well. And so the end result is a lot more impressionistic, and I think perhaps more beautiful. And I like the results I get when I use a palette knife only instead of working with my brushes. Each painting is its own process, its own challenge, and so having a variety, for me personally, is important. I've added some yellow and it's hitting some of that black, and that's causing it to go more of that olive green. And then I've taken some of the Naples yellow and put that straight onto the canvas. It's important that you vary the colors that you're putting on your canvas. It'll look more realistic if you have a lot of colors going on. Adding some of the darker olive green there. Then I'm going to go back in immediately with some of the cadmium yellow medium. Blending that gently together. Putting in a shadow here. If you find that you get too dark in a section, you can either grab some white or better yet, some yellow, and that will lighten it up. Took some blue there. Blue plus yellow, of course, makes a nice green. And so I'm going for a different effect, or a different shade of green than the olive green that I have going on for contrast. A bit of the Naples yellow, and some more of the cadmium yellow medium. Almost running out of that color. Back to my Naples yellow, kind of a sandy color here in the foreground. And starting to blend this together. Now I should note that the camera is not picking up all the shades of green that's happening right now. It actually is a bit more in the green family, and as this painting progresses I push it more into a pine green. Right now there's a lot of yellow. But as I add more of the blue, that blue interacts with the yellow already on the canvas, and it makes a very nice mid-tone green. Now you want variety, so I'm making sure that I'm not over blending, over mixing, and allowing there to be many layers. Here I'm blending a little bit too much, but I'll go back and I'll fix that. The more active your knife work is, the better it will look. Here I've added some more cadmium yellow to the palette. I'm going to bring this in over on this right hand side, break up the dark sections that I had there. Also, I feel like there's too much Naples yellow here on the left. So bringing more of the cadmium yellow in to balance that out is a good idea. Smoothing that out up there. And go back into my black and yellow mix and fix that bottom edge. Want that to be darker where those trees are. Bringing in some cadmium yellow highlights here on these trees where the sun is shining. We're going to mix some of the cadmium yellow with the white, add some distance to these trees by adding more white to it. Not too much, just a touch. It's a very subtle effect, and that white will lighten it up enough so that it looks like it's a bit sun-drenched. If you look outside at the trees around your house, you may notice that there are flecks of white in the leaves, fully saturated, and they become white. Taking a quick moment here with the brown mix, cobalt blue, NAPHTHOL crimson, and the yellow. To make brown, all you need to do is mix up your 3 primaries, red, yellow, blue, bringing in some of the brown in a few spots here on these trees, kind of a reddish brown. And then I'm going to bring that into the foreground in a few spots as well. Again, variety is always good when you're doing sort of this impressionist style painting. I have a few more tricks up my sleeve, so I'll show you those in just a minute. I also need to put it in the sky, and I think once the sky comes in, the whole painting is going to come together. Here's a fun trick. Take the point of your knife and scratch in some chunks through the paint. Because I've worked very quickly up to this point, the acrylic paint has not dried, and I can scratch my way through it pretty easily and add in some nice details of all these trunks. If I get too heavy-handed with it, too many trunks are added, I can go back and put some paint over top of the areas I don't like and lessen the amount of trunks that I have on there. If you've never used a palette knife before, here's a few tips. If you press really hard, the paint will smear very evenly. If I press lightly, it might break and I'll have gaps in it. So depending on the effect that you're going for, you can vary the amount of pressure you put on the point of that knife and how hard you press against the canvas, and you'll get a different effect. When I'm trying to blend things together, I'm pressing very hard. When I'm trying to put in a few spots and I don't mind if it crackles and breaks, then I'll press very lightly. I can vary the amount of pressure to get a different effect. Here, I'm bringing in some more of the cadmium yellow at the top, where the sun is shining brightly on this field. Taking some more of the cobalt blue, going to bring that in a few spots over here on the right hand side. Feel like it needs to be more of a green. Maybe some here in the front as well. Slightly different green because I have a different color yellow there. Notice that I'm not blending it totally away. I'm letting the blue stand very clearly as blue. Keeping it loose, and the eye will blend in that blue. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. I'm liking the effect. Back to the cobalt blue and some white. And I'm going to put in the sky now. Pure cobalt blue at the top. And as we get closer to the tree line, I'm going to go more white. Lots of blending when you're doing this. You want a subtle gradation. Should be the most blue at the top. And again, near the trees, you want it to be almost pure white. And it'll look like clouds. The moment you put the sky in, I think the greens come alive more. Sometimes I find it's easier to judge how the painting is going when I have the sky as reference. Blending here. Let's add a little bit more of the cobalt blue at the top. Really make that blue be bold and bright. Some more of the white for the clouds. Again, I'm keeping my knife loose. I'm not worrying too much about how it's blending and how it's mixing. I want the viewer's eye to make sense of it. And so as long as I have the colors right, the end results of the exact cloud shapes I'm leaving more or less up to chance based on the knife work. Back to the cadmium yellow here. Blending that together. Bit more of the white up here. Be in this corner, break up that tree line. Some more variety. Cover that up. There we go. Much better. Okay, a little bit of the brown that I have left here, bring that out across the center. Then some of the Mars black and the yellow mixture. And put a shadow underneath some of the brown for contrast. Some dark up here as well. A few spots down here. Blend that out. Better. Bit more brown here, followed by some more of the cadmium yellow. Across the bottom, right here. Want lots of sunlight here, more yellow. Really make it shine. This is a cool technique. Take the point of the knife and scratch, again, very small little sticks and twigs in the brown mixture. And then I'm going to flip it and start doing some long scratches horizontally in the field, just to break up the texture a bit more and add some more interest to the painting overall. First, some little twigs and some sticks sticking up out of this dark section, maybe some brush here, kind of shadowed by some big trees that are out of the painting. Using just the point of my knife. A little more of the Mars black. Last bit of the cadmium yellow. Blend that top section over. Got a little bit too high. That's better. Blend that out. Some more of the brown. Scratch in some horizontal lines, which helps reinforce the slope of this foreground and the different angles. Scratching through, showing some of the Naples yellow that's on the bottom. Underneath my other layers I put on top. I'm going to scratch some more over here in a few spots. With a few scratches, we have a lot more detail that's suddenly added that wasn't there before, without having to put a lot of effort into getting that detail. If you feel like you overdo it, just go back over and blend again, like I'm doing here. Too detailed, blend it out. Keep more details in the front and it'll look okay.